All right, we are in Madison, Florida, and we have come here to look at some cows at this organic farm. And we are thinking about buying some cows for our farm. And a little before and after. This side after, that side, follow the shadow, before. Yeah, it gets pretty gooky up there, so you got to get down in the creases and really give it a good scrubbing. Why, Mark, when you have so much fencing to put in a relatively small amount of time by your timeline, are you stopping to wash the tractor? Two reasons. Number one, you need to do it. I mean, you pay a lot of money for it. You got to keep it clean, just like your car, right? Just because it's a tractor doesn't mean it doesn't need love. And part two is I'm waiting still for the arrival of my new, the new bar on my chainsaw, which should be arriving today. But until it does, there's other things I can do. So what happens every time you wash your car? Same thing that happens when you wash your tractor. It starts to rain. Time to get this thing put in the pole barn. Made it! Of course, now I'm stuck here until it lets up. Wow! And it's coming down. Well, since I'm stuck here, Amazon package came. Get me inside. So originally the weather forecast said no rain for today. Then it said you're going to have a little bit of light rain for about 30 minutes. Now we're getting pounded and it's supposed to go for another hour. Okay. But I'm high and dry in the tractor. So I guess I'll just hang out here. It's good though, we need the rain. It's a lot of water on the side of my pole barn though. I'm gonna have a lot of washout going on. Pole barn roof. All right, it's stopped enough that I can walk back to the house. Still raining, but just not brutal. Sounds brutal on the metal roof, but it's just a sprinkling. Man, that was something. Oh, but this ground is healthy. Look at that. You got long grass, good grass. It's just drinking it all in. That's what you want. No flash floods or anything silly like that. I don't think I'll be going into the woods with a chainsaw anymore today. Over here on the eastern edge of that south fence line along the drive, the entrance to the farm. Oops, bonk. And that's the line. You can see those posts down there. Oh, I can't hold it still. And if I continue on, once I get that cleared up, I should be able to see all the way out to the pond without interference. And that's how I know the fence line will be open and ready to start pounding posts. So I'm out here on the pack next to the pond. You can see the water level is usually right up in here. Here's an old fence post. It's not quite center, but if we consider this tree to be about the corner, it probably needs to come back this way about 5 feet, but whatever. I think, and I don't see a marker out there anywhere, but I think I've got about another 60 feet, maybe 75 feet that way. So I think the only way I'm going to do is I'm going to have to get over to the west property line and work my way back out to the water and then see what I can see. So maybe tie something orange to this so I can see it from over there, and then figure out the best way to connect the dots. Because right now it's dry enough that I might be able to put some posts in and run a fence. I don't think I'd be able to pull it really tight for fear of, even on my brace post, my buddy post, my main post and buddy post, they might, just because this is really, I mean, I weigh another 50 pounds, I'm going to start sinking. There's some hoof prints out here, and you know, they're narrow and they sink in, so my big clod hoppers are keeping me on the surface of it at this time. But I need to get that way. If I don't string it too tight, I can at least get something up. The catch is, you know, if cows decide to wander out here, or anything decides to wander out here, it can get stuck. And I might be giving myself more work by trying to get the fence as far out here as I can. I may be better off to try and be closer to what looks like the actual shore. That may be less work in the long run. Hang on, I gotta figure out how I got out here. Hang on, there's a step, and then another step. Okay. So if I run it closer back up in here, that will be potentially less work because I won't risk having animals go out into the muck and get stuck, which, what would I even do then? I don't know. But I got all this in the way. Maybe they're all this smaller stuff. If they're the smaller stuff and not this stuff, I think I can get through there in pretty short order. So I think this is where I make the turn. I'll come right off this, see what I can do. There's the stake, right there, just on the other side of that. I'm gonna put my finger out here, see if I can find it. Right there. Okay, wait for it to clear up. There, that's the stake at the far end. That's the pond end. All right, and then turn, and all right, that's where I'm going with it. However, I think there's a little bit more. I think it's going to be much closer to the trees on the left than I originally forecast. And there might be, I mean, there's definitely some stuff down there I got to clear out. Specifically, that tree right there in the middle. That's the one I thought I could maybe leave that part. I can't leave that part, so it's got to go. And then while brush hogging this, I encountered one of the great fears of everybody who runs a brush hog. That fear is that there's something you can't see in the brush below that's going to harm your equipment. In my case, it was a stump. I didn't see it. That is the front of my rotary cutter. Man, gosh, I hit that like it owed me money. Look at that. It broke out several bolts and dented that in the front. So I think what I can do is I can just wrench that thing back up into place and then put in some new bolts, and I'll be good to go on the front there. But man, I hit that with authority. I'm just lucky that's all the damage it did, because I looked back and the whole thing was like, yeah, it was not happy. And I'm just, close call, man. That could have been really, really bad. It might still be worse than I know it is, but it has not revealed itself in this moment. So what I got to do now is I'm going to run a string just to make sure that that tree is actually as bad as I think it is. And if it is, it's got to go. I got the string run just now. I pulled it a little bit tight, but what I got to do is walk the length of it now and move it around so it's loose of obstructions, and see how the line looks. Well, about as expected. This tree is quite in the way. So gonna have to clear that out. All right, got that string run. I think it's a pretty good line. I think that's it. I'm gonna go down to the other end. I got 10 posts right now, 10 T-posts right now. I'm gonna put them in, and then I'm gonna have to order some more. All right, I went over and measured my other fence post, the other T-post from the other fence line. And so my spacing is gonna be 12 feet, and each post is gonna be about 4.5 feet out of the ground. So that'll give me 47 inches for the woven wire fence, and then a top line for barbed wire, which is what was recommended to me. And on the other heading of fun, I'm now fully sporting the mower again. Just when I went over there to measure it, the DFI light came on and it went into limp mode, the mule did. So I limped it back to the pole barn, put it in there, swapped the stuff over to this. So I'm gonna have to troubleshoot that. I'm wondering if it's just the other ignition coil. I'm gonna start there this time, fingers crossed, because at least I know how to address that problem. But anyway, let's get these posts in so I can at least get some progress here for this. All right, that's it. It's done, at least for tonight. I'm spent. And so I'm gonna call it. Deb just sent me a note, dinner's ready, having burgers. And I'm gonna Bobby Boucher my way back over to the pole barn and put everything away. And I'll worry about fixing the mule starting tomorrow. All right, so I guess that's it from here. Talk to you guys later.